Hello, my name is Joe Galvin, and I'm the HUD Midwest Regional Administrator for the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. We have been highlighting a number of communities and organizations throughout the Midwest as we've started to talk about what type of good work is occurring throughout our region. This is especially true when we talk about commemorating Public Service Recognition Week. We want to shine a spotlight on the great work underway as we confront this unprecedented pandemic. My staff and I have been talking to a number of mayors across the Midwest and governors and their staffs. And we've been talking about all the good work of the people, those who have put themselves at the front line of working to help ensure that the residents are being taken care of. It helps us to truly realize that all of us are in this together. My guest today is David Northern Sr. He's the Executive Director of the Champaign County Housing Authority. David and I go way back. We've worked together on a number of different issues and housing authorities. And David, first I want to say thank you. Thank you for all the groundbreaking work you've done in Champaign County and throughout the rest of the region. You've always stepped up to the plate to help the most vulnerable among us, and you've always had an unwavering commitment to our communities. So we want to say thank you, and thank you to your staff, because your staff, as they provide the services to your residents, they're on the front lines. They're on the front lines of exposing themselves to this COVID-19 virus. And I know that you're taking all of the precautions, but it brings me to you personally. If you don't mind sharing about your own experience with COVID-19 right at the start and how you thought about how it affected your work, your family, your residents. So David, tell us a little bit about what happened to you.
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you for allowing me to be a part of this broadcast. I think it's so important, like you also, that individuals understand and get a good feeling for the work that we do. We deal with some of the communities most vulnerable. Even during a pandemic like this, we have to think and evaluate what decisions we need to make in order to ensure safety for not just our clients, the individuals that we serve, but our strongest assets, and that's our staff. So our team members are so important that they stay safe. It's been unfortunate that we have to deal with a pandemic like this. From the beginning, we've been cautious in terms of the decisions that we had to make. The team sat down and we put some really effective process together in terms of, one, informing the community, our citizens, our clients, our staff members on the various precautions, having a information bank in terms of on our website where individuals can go to our website and find out all the latest information related to it, whether it be housing authority policy decisions, the governor's policy direction, HUD's policy direction, the county's policy direction. We just felt that so many people in a time of need will be looking for information, and we wanted to be a part of that process and providing it. I was a member of the emergency response team for the county, and it's heartbreaking to really see the effects that this pandemic is having. But for me personally, it's been really rough. Unfortunately, I have been sick off and on since December a few times with flu-like symptoms in and out the emergency room. And it's been a challenge in itself. Right before we really shut down the country, the country also, but before we shut down the state and really start having a heightened level of concerns related to the virus, I wasn't feeling too well. I had a meeting with my staff members, and right after the emergency management meeting, and one of my staff members was really showing signs of just not acting himself. And so after the meeting, I was a little disappointed. I looked at him at first, thinking like, well, maybe he's not wanting to listen to me talk. Maybe he's not wanting to pay attention to what I've got to say. So after the meeting, I said, "You okay?" He said, "No, I'm not." He was sneezing and just looking kind of bad. So I said, "You know what? You probably should go get tested or go to the hospital and get yourself checked out." Well, at that point, they put him on a 14-day. Unfortunately, I had been around him. I had been traveling with him. We had was in Chicago a number of times at meetings, right during that time frame. And so I wasn't feeling too well also. Ended up, trying to fight through it. Ended up going to the doctor, and they wouldn't test me. They tested him, and we had to wait for his test to come back. But they wouldn't test me because we were close together, and they felt with the limited amount of tests, they wasn't going to do that. Long story short, I decided as the leader of the housing authority, one, not only did we have to come up with a number of precautions to ensure that our citizens, our clients were safe within the buildings, but we had to shut down the main office. I had been at the main office. This staff person had been at the main office, and we wanted to make sure that our clients, our staff members were safe. We had a specialized cleaner come in, and I went public with it. And, you know, some people say, why did you go public with your personal health story? I felt that, you know, being the head of the housing authority, for me not to come out and go public and say, hey, I'm on a 14th day, you know, it would have been, you know, staff members, what if I would have tested positive and somebody would have came back and said, why didn't you tell us the truth? So I felt it was, as a leader, I needed to come out. So it's been challenging. The kids been home. We had a lot of plans for spring break. They had to cancel those plans because, you know, everything was shut down. But overall, you know, God's been good to us, and we've been able to overcome it. And I'm healthy and doing well now.
Excellent. Well, thank you for that, sharing your story, David. You're absolutely right. As the head of the household at your house, but also as the head of the housing authority, you know, I have to agree. It's your responsibility to let people know if there's a possibility of me getting it, you really have to take every precaution. You got to set the example, and you got to make everybody has to be on high level awareness that this can be a possibility. So thank you for sharing that. One of the things that we talk about is move to work jurisdictions. And only 1% of all the housing authorities across the nation, they have this designation. So last month, HUD issued a briefing highlighting self-sufficiency and innovation communities from MTW. And of course, the Housing Authority of Champaign County was designated as an MTD back in 2010. And your mandatory local self-sufficiency program, it was featured as a promising practice at the national level. Region 5 is very proud of that because we claim you as one of our own best practices. So can you please share some of your key deliverables for self-sufficiency?
Well, you know, that's one program I'm so excited to be a part of. I've been in the housing industry over 25 years. And when I had an opportunity to come to an organization that had the move to work designation, you know, I felt like I've done move to work type work at other housing authorities, but having the freedom and the flexibilities to really focus on partners for the benefits of your community members. But when you talk about deliverables for our local self-sufficiency program, I think we really went above and beyond on the call of duty to ensure our clients have that opportunity and that ability to overcome those obstacles. We have a tiered rent system that we utilize. We also have a mandatory work requirements for anybody non-disabled that's 18 to 54 years old. If you're in our program, you have to work. You have to go to school. You know, we want to see progress. We have an 8-year term limit also. You know, so we have some aggressive policies, you know, to let our community members know and our citizens know. You know, I mean, it's only a limited supply of housing. It's only so much dollars to go around. And utilizing those flexibilities, we promote efficiency for our clients and help them move along that spectrum of self-sufficiency. But we also utilize our cost-saving benefits so we can limit the dependency on a tax dollar. With that said, you know, being aggressive in terms of development also, as an affordable housing developer, we have some non-federal dollars that, you know, like we can lessen that dependency even further.
Well, thank you for those highlights. Sounds like a lot of exciting things going on. I love the program, and we're going to continue to highlight the program in Champaign County. So one of the things that we've been doing in the Midwest, we've been having these forums across the 6 states on affordable housing. And a lot of it has been talking about the shortage of affordable housing and how do we go about providing it. One of Secretary Ben Carson's key initiatives to address the affordable housing shortage is the Rental Assistance Demonstration Program, RAD. Right? So RAD, it's proven to be a powerful tool for public housing authorities that try to work to preserve affordable housing, to serve more households, and to maximize the impact of their existing commitment using limited federal resources. And there's been studies saying that without RAD, it would take 46 years for housing authorities to finance the same level of repairs and renewals. So can you tell me a little bit about what Champaign County is doing regarding RAD?
Well, RAD's been a godsend to Champaign County. We closed on our last deal, Rad Deal, in 2018, December 2018. So we have no more public housing. We're in the process of leasing up one of our RAD replacement properties, a brand new construction, 222 units, $25 million of affordable housing. We have a 3-story along with 2 small stories for individuals with disabilities. So our current RAD properties that we had as public housing that converted over, we were able to totally rehab them. And so they're in good shape. and we have no liens on those properties at all. So they're debt-free properties, was able to rehab it, and it's been great to save that tax dollar, to utilize the management flexibilities and the knowledge of our team members, to maintain it, along with capture the essence of being real affordable housing property managers. I've been in public housing, like I mentioned earlier, a long time, and just to be honest, there's not enough money to go around, right? It's just not. And so having Rad as a tool to not only free up some flexibility and really work hard for your community, but also giving housing authorities more leverage to utilize those properties to make the repairs necessary, instead of waiting, with their hands out for the federal government to help them, right? So it's that business mindset that we have now. And Secretary Carson has been aggressive in pushing that agenda, and so I was happy when we was able to have our last closing and say that we're public housing free. Our goal still is to deal with the most vulnerable. However, we're doing it in a more efficient and effective way.
Yeah, well, you're absolutely right. When you can do it more efficiently, more people are served, and you alleviate some of the problems and some of the shortages of providing affordable housing. So, a lot of good stuff happening in your neck of the woods. Anything else you want to add that we haven't already covered?
Well, as I talked about the business mindset, being an affordable housing developer, we currently have over $100 million of affordable housing development going on. And that's outside our traditional RAD or public housing type programs. Low-income housing tax credits, we receive 49% awards. We're working outside the county. And you talked about having MTW and those flexibilities. Part of our MTW program is, not just to focus on housing in Champaign County, but we know it's a number of rural areas throughout our state that has a need for affordable housing or quality, decent, sanitary housing. And so the House of Champaign County stepped up with community partners, with IDA, the Illinois Housing Development Authority, and other development partners. And we have partnerships in developing 5 deals outside of Champaign County in rural areas and other areas. That's exciting, because those funds come back to help fund more properties and more opportunities for the county of Champaign. And that's exciting. Well, like I said before, we don't have to sit back and wait, for the next round of capital funds or things like that, when we can go out and make things happen. Most recently, the Housing Authority applied for a youth build grant. With all the construction that's going on, we're working toward having a vision center here. We received $1.5 million from Department of Labor for youth build, and we're going to combine those efforts with our family self-sufficiency efforts and our development efforts, and just really create a great opportunity for our young people and our families here in Champaign County.
Yeah, well, that's great news, and it's good news. We talked about the Vision Center for a while, and I'm sure once we get back in some fashion or form of normalcy, we'll push the Vision Center forward. It's going to be a good thing for all of you down there. So I want to say thank you, but before I shut off, where can the public go to stay apprised of your resources and opportunities?
So could you say it again, sir?
Give me your website.
Okay. Our website is www.hacc.net. And one thing that's important, we really try to do a good job of getting our message out. I've always believed in going public. I always believed in, if you don't tell your story, somebody else will. And the story that we have to tell with the guidance of Secretary Carson and yourself for Champaign County is just amazing. I'm also the Senior Vice President of the Public Housing Authority Directors Association. In a year, I'll be the National President, hopefully, if my peers continually support me. And using those efforts, those flexibilities, great partners like yourself, and other community partners, it's just been great. We have all the social media accounts. We on Twitter, LinkedIn. We have a YouTube account, YouTube channel. We have a number of young people working for us that's really aggressive in those efforts. And I appreciate it, because our message gets out there, and individuals like yourself that's busy with 6 states, all the house authorities you have to deal with, you can hear and see some of the things that we're doing.
Yeah, well, that's absolutely right. And I follow you on Twitter, and see you on LinkedIn, and see you all over the place, even on Facebook, and it's all good. You get a lot of good advice to share, especially I think a lot of your commentary is towards the youth and using your wisdom to guide them a little bit. So I appreciate that. So we want to say thank you to David Northern, Sr., Housing Authority of Stitt County of Champaign, Executive Director. Thank you so much. And we are going to continue with this program going throughout the Midwest, talking to different leaders, talking about working together. How can we make the communities that much better? So God bless all of you, and see you next time.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.